Here I am again. The AM5 motherboard we are taking a look at today is unfortunately being ignored by far too many. This is the MSI PRO X870-P Wi-Fi featuring the X870 chipset, as the name clearly suggests. Not X870E, but the slimmed down X870 version. However, that shouldn't deter anyone from buying such a motherboard. In fact, I've been using this board for months for benchmarks with AM5 CPUs, and it thoroughly impressed me in pretty much every respect. The relatively reasonable price is particularly appealing, even though the availability for this specific model in certain regions appears to have worsened recently at some retailers. For whatever reason, right now you should expect a price of roughly $230 for it, but you should definitely pay close attention to whether or not you can get the board's X870E version for a similar price, or sometimes even for less in certain regions. It was a whole different situation back when I purchased this motherboard. So what connectivity and other features does the Pro X870-P Wi-Fi offer? I don't think we necessarily have to pick X870E boards all the time. The package contents look as follows: the motherboard itself, a Wi-Fi antenna, 2 SATA cables, an Easy CON cable for ARGB, 3 of those so-called Easy M.2 clips that screw in, a small tool for those clips, and finally the quick start guide. The Pro motherboard series by MSI certainly appeals to me aesthetically, and the quality aspect is excellent too, if you ask me. We also get quite decent cooling on here. The AM5 socket, of course, supports not only the current latest Ryzen 9000 series CPUs, but also 8000 and 7000 series. The board makes use of AMD's X870 chipset. Regarding the VRM design, we are looking at a 14+2+1 phase design, which is quite good. From my own experience, I can say that Ryzen 9 CPUs run exceptionally well with it. Now for memory, there are 4 DDR5 slots with dual channel support. According to MSI, modules with speeds from 5600 to 8200 megatransfers per second are supported. That is OC, of course. The max capacity is 256 gigabytes. From a purely financial perspective, that would be more than just impressive right now. Turning our attention to the expansion slots, we see a total of 4 PCIe X16 slots. However, only one of those runs off the CPU and offers full PCIe 5.0 X16 speeds. The rest are entirely chipset driven at speeds such as PCIe 4.0 X4 and 3.0 X1. The first slot also comes with steel armor reinforcement for added durability. What I particularly like is the small plastic extension to the locking mechanism, because it significantly simplifies the removal of graphics cards in tight systems. As usual, M.2 slots nowadays offer considerably more lanes. In total, we have 3 slots of this type at our disposal, of which only one offers PCIe 5.0 X4 speeds via the CPU. The other 2 are powered by the chipset and offer PCIe 4.0 X4 and X2 respectively. The high-speed primary slot even comes equipped with MSI's Shield Frozer 2 heatsink. The installation and removal is all toolless. The same applies to the remaining 2 slots, thanks to the Easy M.2 clips. MSI has done an excellent job with this. There are also 4 SATA 6 gigabit ports on board, but these are not powered by the chipset, instead by the third-party ASMedia ASM 1064 controller. RAID support is available exclusively for M.2 NVMe SSDs, specifically RAID 0, 1 and 5. RAID 5 is only an option with Ryzen 9000 series processors though. Aside from that, the SATA ports unfortunately do not support RAID at all. The motherboard does, however, feature a 5 gigabit Ethernet port, which I really appreciate. It is powered by the Realtek 8126VB controller, which isn't universally loved. As far as wireless connectivity is concerned, we are dealing with the Wi-Fi 7 standard, supporting the 6 GHz band. Bluetooth version 5.4 is also on board. Regarding audio, it's technically 7.1 channel, but at its core is the now quite outdated and frankly less than impressive Realtek ALC 897 codec. At least the audio section is electrically shielded from the rest of the board. We get one 3.5mm line out, mic in, as well as line in. Externally, we are blessed with the following I/O. One HDMI 2.1 video output, two USB-A 10GB, one USB-C 40GB with DisplayPort capability, one USB-C 20GB, two USB-A 5GB, and finally 4 USB 2.0 ports. The I/O here is admittedly truly impressive. But internally, things aren't looking too shabby either. So we get one USB-C 10GB, one USB 5GB, and two USB 2.0 headers. In terms of fan headers, we get a total of 8 to make use of. These consist of one CPU fan header, one pump/system header, and 6 system fan headers. As for the system headers in general, 2 front panel, 1 front panel audio, and a TPM header. For LEDs, there are 3 ARGB 5V 3-pin headers and a single older RGB 12V 4-pin header. Moving on to power, we naturally have our standard 24-pin ATX power connector along with 2 8-pin CPU connectors, although there's also an additional power connector for the graphics card. That's what the optional 8-pin PCIe power connector is for on the bottom of the board. But then again, as I said, it's optional. Of course, the motherboard also comes with a few special features, if you will. These include the nice and handy debug LEDs. Unfortunately, not the type with a fancy display and error codes, but nonetheless a very welcome feature. The manufacturer also wanted to include a clear CMOS button along with a BIOS flashback button on the external I/O, the latter allowing for BIOS updates without any installed CPU or RAM if necessary. As usual with MSI's Pro series motherboards, this one too lacks any onboard lighting, which doesn't bother me in the slightest. The overall aesthetics are appealing enough for me to not need any kind of lighting, although opinions will certainly differ on this point. Now, the UEFI BIOS, as usual, is neatly and efficiently structured. My footage of the UEFI BIOS dates back several months, which is why you see a rather outdated version here. We do have the easy and advanced mode as always. Both are wonderfully organized and absolutely packed with features, and since it's all organized quite well, one doesn't get lost that often in the vast sea of settings here. MSI deserves special praise here for the great out-of-the-box BIOS settings. Virtually no further adjustments are necessary for most users, which is great news for beginners who do not want to do a lot of tinkering. What I find most appealing is that the pump and fan speeds are already configured close to perfection. This leads to a great balance between cooling performance and noise levels without having to lift a finger. However, those who wish to can certainly go for all kinds of fine-tuning, no doubt about it. Conclusion. The MSI PRO X870-P Wi-Fi has completely won me over. I bought it primarily for benchmarking AM5 CPUs, and it fulfills this purpose brilliantly. During all my testing, I experienced no instability or performance fluctuations whatsoever. It's a truly solid motherboard. The X870 chipset also clearly demonstrated to me that it too can offer an incredible amount of features and excellent connectivity as far as expansion slots and especially USB ports and M.2 slots are concerned. Needless to say, if the market offers you a chance to snag a comparable board with an X870E chipset instead for less money or at only a slight premium, you should take the opportunity. Still, that does not mean X870 isn't also perfectly suited for flagship CPUs. To be honest, the majority of users currently won't even be fully utilizing the feature set of X870 and X870E. Therefore, from a sheer technical perspective, the MSI PRO X870-P Wi-Fi deserves a clear recommendation. During all these hours of testing, I've only had positive things to report so far. What do you think of the motherboard we've taken a look at? Would you be willing to pay the extra cost for a comparable X870E model, Or are the performance and features of the X870 chipset perfectly sufficient for you? If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like, or if you prefer, a dislike. With that said, thanks a lot for watching, and until the next one.